House Committee on Public Information, chaired by Congressman Ben Evardon, approved the Freedom of Information Bill. Next stop is the bill's approval in the plenary. Will it get the same support from majority of the House? One contentious issue which will surface during the debates is the right to reply, a provision proposed by Congressman Rodolfo Antonino but was not included in the consolidated version authored by Deputy Speaker Erin Tañada. And joining us tonight is Attorney Nepomuceno Malaluan, a major advocate of the Freedom of Information Bill. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Robert.
Sir, are you happy with the approval of the Freedom of Information Bill approved by the Evardon Committee?
Of course, we have been waiting this for years, in fact, and we are happy that today our House champions were able to get the vote, and it had the support of more than majority. We had 17 voting for the bill.
So we have been pushing for this bill in the past, but a lot of obstacles. Why is the Freedom of Information Bill so important for our people?
Well, it fleshes out our constitutional guarantee of right to information. It provides the substantive and procedural details that are necessary for us to be able to enjoy it. We have been given a runaround asking for information, and it is this bill that will make our ability to access important information from government and be able to monitor how government is exercising its power and authority, as well as managing the finances of government.
Sir, how transparent or accountable do you think our government will be in the implementation of these programs?
Well, there are standards of record keeping and standards of responding to citizens' requests for information. In the end, it will depend on how actively the citizens will exercise this right.
So, will the FOI provide information to our people when they ask for it?
Yes, subject to important exceptions also for public interest, but assuming that the information is not within the coverage of the interest, then this bill requires that this be made available at a maximum of 15 working days.
So what kind of information, and are there any limitations to what they can ask for?
Well, many of the interests are in how, as I mentioned, government is spending the funds of government. So that includes budget expenditures, contracts entered into, and transactions entered into. It also includes information that allows citizens to access government services, such as the CCT, for example. As I mentioned as well, it is subject to a number of exceptions also for the public interest, including, for example, national security matters, foreign affairs, national defense, when the revelation would injure these interests, operations for law enforcement, when the revelation will jeopardize the police operation or law enforcement operation, undue invasion of personal privacy, and many others that are recognized in this bill as well.
So there's still issues and requests, I guess, with regards to trying to get public documents, a lot of bureaucracy, even in day-to-day occurrences. Are there any provisions in the FOI bill to ensure that when the public asks for certain information, the information will be given or fast-tracked?
That's a general rule of the period. It's the maximum. So I think for urgent information, then one could request for a fast track, but it's not really provided in the bill.
So let's say a government official or agency fails to act on the request for information. Are there any penalties?
Yes, that is another major feature of this measure, that certain acts violative of the right to information are punishable administratively, most of them, and even criminally in at least two aspects.
So let's face it, media will be the most active in asking for information. Congressman Antonino expressed concern of the possible abuse of media in exposing corruption, and there's no reply guaranteed by someone exposed in the report. Is there a penalty against media corruption?
Media corruption, if it is in relation to corrupt practices of government officials, then that should be they should be party to such corrupt practices of public officials. But by itself, I believe that it is a matter of ethics, and I think that the media was being challenged also by even champions of this bill to come forward with ways to ensure the responsible practice of journalism and ethics. But we have joined our media friends in opposing legally mandated right of reply, particularly when the issue is just a matter of a subjective view of whether reporting is fair, not even. And that's why the bill of the measure of Representative Antonino was defeated, because it is overbroad and in fact already infringes on freedom of the press.
So now that we passed the first hurdle, do you think that the right to reply, the non-insertion of the right to reply, will be a major obstacle?
Well, Representative Antonino has vowed to pursue his amendment, but our appeal has always been for the committee and the House to treat FOI and right of reply separately. This is primarily a right of citizens to access information, and we have appealed to them not to hold this hostage to the right of reply. There are two measures still pending in the committee separately on right of reply by Representatives Romualdo and Representative Nograles. And I think the way forward is for Representative Everdone to hear these measures, but at the same time commit to pushing the bill on FOI in plenary now, independent of whatever happens to the right of reply.
So do you think there's going to be a big issue? Some sectors say that this is already embedded in the ethics of journalism, getting both sides whenever they come out with a story.
Yes, I think that is fundamental in the ethics of responsible journalism, and I think that is the challenge right now, especially at this point, that we have heard very vicious attacks on the media, and I think the media is being challenged to come forward collectively and assure the public that it is responsibly exercising its privilege and guarantee of press freedom.
So, in a final word, next steps after this?
Well, the next steps, we believe that it has reached at this stage at the highest leaders of this country. It is a matter of political will, political commitment to get this bill through as a measure finally, and we have high hopes in the administration of President Aquino that in the 15th Congress and in the leadership of the Senate and the House, that this bill that we have been long waiting for will finally become law.
Okay, on that note, thank you very much for joining us tonight. That was Attorney Nepomuceno Malaluan from the Right to Know Coalition.